This lemon tree is a perfect example why you should never give up on your plants. I put it in this pot, this 15-gallon container, about a month ago. And at that time, it had about 12 more branches on it, all of which were dead. I cut them off. And the ones that looked like they had a speck of green on them, I left. And I put in some old alfalfa pellets that had been decomposing. Lots of nitrogen there. Watered it faithfully and a lot. And look what has happened. There are leaves on this previously skeletal stick tree. I thought it was 99% dead, but I thought there was 1% or less maybe chance of life, and I just went forward with hope. And look what's happened. Now this doesn't always happen, but a lot of the times it does. So don't give up hope. If you find a plant, whether at the store, on a clearance rack, or in a forgotten corner of your property, that looks like it has long since given up the ghost, maybe just try, because it is so rewarding and exciting when you see new life like that come out. And this lemon tree, I betcha, is going to be fruiting again by next year.
Hi, I'm Kim, and this is Olive City Oasis, my 2.5-acre property in Northern California. And today has been a strange day, very humid, which we do not get here. I lived in South Carolina for a couple of years in my early 20s, and so I know what humidity is, and boy, are we feeling it today. It's been overcast and only in the 70s, also unusual for us. In fact, we're scheduled to be 107 to 111 in just a couple of days. And no humidity then, I assure you. Anyway, along with the humidity and the overcast skies, today brought with it a lot of surprises. And it reminded me that gardening is so full of surprises all the time. It's one of the things I love about it, and it's what I wanted to share with you today. So in addition to that lemon tree I just showed you, let's take a look at a few of the other surprises I found this morning. Here is another example of the benefits of not giving up on your plants. Look at this dahlia. And here's another one down here, and more buds coming. So look at the leaves here. Here's one I've cut off there. You can see some holes in it. But if you look farther down, here, you can tell that something was eating these plants. Maybe still is. And I need to get in here and clean off these webs and maybe cut off some of these really damaged leaves, because that would make the plant look a lot better. But you can also see that the new growth is looking good, and you can't deny how fabulous these flowers look. I mean, tequila sunrise dahlias are just gorgeous. But I never thought the plant was going to flower this year, given the way it looked a few weeks ago. Just goes to show you never can tell. So keep watering your plants, keep helping them along as best you can, because they just might surprise you with some beautiful blooms like this. Something else that has really surprised me is how well my gladioli have stood up to all the wind we have been having, considering how much I've been procrastinating tying them up better. They're very resilient. Even when they blow sideways like these here, they're still blooming pretty. But yes, I need to get out here and do a better job at staking them up, so I can continue to enjoy them for the next few weeks. Okay, right behind the gladioli at the head of this bed, I've got some berries. Just take a look at these. They are starting to ripen, and they're all over this bush. Down at the bottom too. Notice this area is very bushy. That gave me an idea, because I did have a stalk. Let's see if I can find. It was right here, in fact, that I cut off right there, because it was about 9 feet tall. So I cut it off, hoping that it would bush out as it had done at the bottom. And sure enough, it did bush out. I've been really surprised at how well it's doing. It didn't seem to be harmed by the cut that I did at all. When a few days had passed, I went over and cut another one.
because you know me, I'm always experimenting and I'm trying to grow these more like bushes than like a tall climbing vine, which is what they want to do. So I cut the one next to it. You can see where I cut it right here. And nicely, it has grown 3 different little branches right where I cut it. And they're starting to bud there at the juncture of each new branch. So just like it bushed out at the bottom, I've been happily surprised that my experiment went well, and they are continuing to now bush out where I've cut them. So yeah, give things a try like that. You never know how it will go. I mean, I wouldn't say if you've got 8 berry bushes to cut them all the same day. Cut one at the height you want to keep it at. See if it bushes out and does well, doesn't hurt the plant, and if it doesn't, then do another one, because it's going to make things easier for you, and also because it's fun to experiment, and you know, being surprised by how well things do, well, that gives you hope to keep experimenting more with other things. Came out to see if there were any last few cherries left on my Rainier cherry tree this morning. Lovely breeze, but you know, I really wasn't expecting much because I've been harvesting off the Rainier cherry tree for like 3 weeks now, and well, I just assumed if there were any remaining, the birds would have gotten them. So imagine my surprise when I got here and looked a little deeper inside the protective leaves of the tree, and I see quite a few cherries still lurking. So I'm gonna pick some and enjoy. There's a couple up there. Those are perfect Rainier specimens. I can't wait to eat these. All right, I think I got them all. If there's a couple left hidden, I guess the birds will get to enjoy them. But man, what a nice surprise was this. Not only did I eat about 20 that had been bird pecked right off the tree, I just, you know, bite around the little hole, but I got about 20 that are perfect. And I thought I was only gonna find a couple, so this was really exciting to me because I have to say Rainier cherries are my absolute favorites. And when I moved here, I was told, oh, you can't grow those here. But I thought I spotted a tree in someone's yard and I said, I'm gonna try it anyway. And surprise, it worked. So this is one of my little relaxation areas in the garden. And behind the flowers, you've got a wonderful honeysuckle bush. And I've got a sweet bay leaf tree there, a loquat tree right here, and a corkscrew willow tree that I absolutely adore. But I got a surprise when I came over here this morning, and it wasn't a good surprise. Not all surprises are good. Do you see what I see up there? You know, to be honest, I noticed this a few weeks ago, but it wasn't as bad. It was just a little tiny bit, and I thought, oh, I'll come out later and take care of that. Look, honeysuckle has been vining its way, twisting and turning around my willow tree branches. I know. Of course it does. That's what they do. And I should have taken care of it when I first saw it, because this morning I was very surprised to come out and find some of the lower branches here were bent all the way to the ground because these vining branches had twisted all around them and weighed the poor corkscrew willow down. Well, I don't want that, which means I basically need to cut it back because it is all around here, and I don't want that. So I've got a job ahead of me today, but that's all right. The honeysuckle is not going to suffer any damage. It is so huge, and I'm going to take some of those cuttings and root them and plant them maybe around my catio or somewhere where I want them to vine. And the willow tree will thank me. It will bounce back, and it will be very happy again without the honeysuckle climbing to the top. But before I tackle the job of pruning the honeysuckle off of the branches of my corkscrew willow tree, I have another chore I want to do. It's something that I'm actually looking forward to doing, and it seems like the perfect time to do it with this overcast weather, and that is sowing some more seeds directly out into my veggie beds. I'm really excited about this, and you know, there's really not much more that could clearly and perfectly describe hope than planting seeds. I mean, that's what planting seeds is all about. Putting them in the ground, watering them, and then hoping they come up.
So these are the first seeds I'm going to sow. Corn. I've got some sweet corn and some glass gem corn. And I'm going to sow them in 4 rounds, I think. That way I can successively harvest them over the course of the summer and early fall. These are the other main seeds I want to sow. I've been really, really excited about growing these. The Kakai pumpkin or squash, these are hulless seeds, so they're really great for roasting, and I think they're beautiful. And the Long Island cheese squash has been a favorite of a lot of other YouTube gardeners that I follow, so I'm going to try that for the first time this year. And then I have one other seed that I'm going to do some direct sowing of, and that is the purple teepee beans. Now, I have grown these before. They're delicious and they're really prolific. They're a bush bean, and I'm going to plant some more of them. I have a few that I planted a couple of weeks ago, but again, I like to successively harvest things like this, and I didn't have very many seeds left, so I ordered some more, and now I'm gonna sow a whole bunch of them.
So I'm going to head out now and sow these seeds, and then I'm going to sit back and do what all gardeners do. I'm going to wait. And when they come up, as they most likely will, I am going to marvel. I am going to appreciate the miracle of life as they pop up, as they sprout, as they grow, and finally produce fruit. I mean, seeds coming up shouldn't be that much of a surprise, and yet every time they kind of are. And they just fill me with so much hope. All these plants do, but especially the little seedlings as they first pop out of the ground. So I have a few questions for you. What in your garden brings you the most hope these days? And have you found any fun surprises out in your garden lately? If you have, be sure to let me know in the comments. Happy gardening!